this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we are doing factorising and we're going to look at factorising using the difference of two squares. Now before we start, if you would like to print off the sheets that you see today, you can go to my website, see the details below, and you can print off all these sheets for free so that you can copy or go along with me as we do these questions on your own set of sheets. Okay, so the difference of two squares, when you're factorising using the difference of two squares, you will find something squared minus another something squared. It's always in that type. You'll always see that type of thing and you'll know you need to factorise using difference of two squares. All you do is you square root the first term, and that, whatever you get, the square root of a squared is a, will go at the front of both brackets. And then you'll square root the second term, and that will go at the end of each bracket. And one bracket will be a negative and one bracket will be a positive, and that will ensure that you always end up with this kind of thing when you expand it out again. And you can check that if you've learned how to do your expanding already, that you can always check your answers by expanding out again. Okay, so let me show you how this is done. So in question 1, we know we're going to get two brackets when we're factorising using difference of two squares. If we square root the first term, the square root of x squared is x. That goes at the front of both brackets. Then we square root the y squared, which is y, and that goes at the end of each bracket. One is a negative and one is a positive. It doesn't matter which one is which. And that's done. Let's do it again for question 2. Put our double brackets down. Square root of d squared is d, goes to the front. And then we square root the 9. Square root of 9 is 3, goes at the end of each bracket. One of them will be a minus and one of them will be a plus. This time I'll write them the other way around just because I can. In question 3, let's write down our double bracket. 4g squared, the square root of 4g squared, well, square root of 4 is 2 and square root of g squared is g. So 2g at the beginning of both bracket. And the square root of 81 is 9. Goes at the end of each bracket. One is a plus and one is a minus. Question 4. Put down our double brackets. Okay. Square root of 16m squared is 4m. Goes in the front. And the square root of 25n squared is 5n. Should have made my brackets a little bit bigger, I think. Okay, one is a plus and one is a minus. Sometimes you'll get to a question and go, well, it looks like a difference of two squares, but I can't actually square root those numbers nicely. What you can try, which is what we need to do for this question, is to take out a common factor first. So if I recognise there's a common factor of 2 in both of those terms there, so that would give me 2 bracket y squared minus 25. And then this makes a much nicer difference of two squares here. So the 2 will just be sitting out the front, and then I'll open my double bracket. Square root of y squared is y, and the square root of 25 is 5. One's a plus and one's a minus. So be sure to look out for common factors first. It does ensure that your terms here are completely factorised, that you've completely factorised, and gives you a nice answer like this. Okay, question 6, same kind of thing here. If I look at 18 and 200, I could divide both of those terms by 2, which would give me a 9a squared, and 200 divided by 2 is 100b squared. Okay, and then these are much nicer terms for us to square root. So open our double brackets. Square root of 9a squared is 3a at the front of each bracket. Square root of 100 is 10, and square root of b squared, so it's 10b. 10b, one's a plus and one's a minus. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. The The trickiest thing you'll find is with the more factorising you do, with all the different types that you learn, sometimes it'll be, the hardest thing will be to recognise which method should I use when. When should I be doing a common factor? When should I be factorising in pairs? When should I be using difference of two squares? And there's many more methods that are still to come. So practice each method individually, and then it's also important to practice mixing all these factorising types together so that you can practice identifying them. But for today, let's go to the next page here, and there's some questions that I want you to practice just to make sure that what you've just learnt really sticks. So pause the video, try these questions and restart to see the answers. So in question 1, factorising by difference of two squares, we have the double brackets. Square root of p squared is p, goes in the front of each bracket. Square root of 64 is 8, 1 a plus, 1 a minus. Okay, question 2, 49 minus 4f squared. Okay, I'll put my double brackets down. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root of 4f squared will be 2f. 1's a plus, 1's a minus. Question 3, 144a squared minus 25c squared. Let's put the double brackets down. Square root of 144 is 12, and square root of a squared is a, so 12a. And the square root of 25c squared will be 5c. 1's a plus, 1's a minus. Question 4 is when we need to take out a common factor, and 6 is the obvious factor here. If I take a 6 out the front, I'll be left with k squared minus 1, and then that can be factorised using difference of two squares, so we have the double bracket. Square root of k squared is k. Square root of 1 is 1. 1's a plus and 1's a minus. And the very last one, 98w squared minus 32x squared. Oh, okay, that's some big numbers, isn't it? We can divide that by 2, which would leave me with a 49w squared minus 16x squared. Alright, then we can leave our 2 at the front, have our double bracket. 49w squared, square root of that is 7w. And the square root of 16x squared will be 4x. Okay, 1's a plus and 1's a minus. Alright, that's it for today. Keep practicing and I will see you next time. Bye.